This week, Sony's finally bringing democracy to Xbox. Then, companies like Rockstar are requesting your photo ID to make sure you're at least of driving age for Grand Theft Auto. Next, it's time to scab your fingers again, trying to perfect Joker and the Thief on little plastic guitars. After that, Kingmakers announced it's coming to early access soon, so you can ride 2 types of Mustangs. Then, get your evil adult Zelda fix with Darksiders 4. Finally, we throw games into a blender and talk about our most desired video game mashups.
Hi, I'm Nick, and we're going to pair games so well that even Cooking Mama would be proud.
Hi, I'm Josh, and identity theft is no laughing matter, Rockstar.
And I'm Andy. This is Video Game Tango. Olio, Leo!
Now it's the loud floor.
Well, yeah, that's
Quiet.
true. Quiet on the dance floor, motherfucker. Hey, this is Video Game Tango. We're a video game podcast. We have fun here.
We do have fun here.
Yeah, so we got some news, we got some goofs, we got some gaffs. We got to get it all out of us. So we're gonna put it all in your earballs. And why don't we just go ahead and start with you, Nick?
Yeah. Good news. Finally, all you Halo vets have been churning and waiting for the day. In a surprise move, Sony appears to be pushing and allowing for Helldivers 2 to be launched on the Xbox. I believe it is August 20th is when it's going to be coming out. And on their Discord, one of the devs, Shams Georgiani, said it was all PlayStation. PlayStation apparently was the one who made the decision and allowed it to happen. He says, they say, what is it here? Quote, I think it's one of the coolest things they've done. They're killing it. Sony's killed some things, but yeah, no, that's just exciting. I mean, Xbox players have been just slathering at the mouth to play this game, and it's going to breathe some new life into it and give hopefully a huge jump in the player base. And this game continues to it's wild. The updates, they make something awful, they make something great, they fix things, funny things, and there's one thing clear: their devs are just not giving up.
Yeah,
they're sticking this out like Hello Game style, and I miss playing it. It's so much fun, and I'm excited to see all our Xbox brethren out there dying in the fields.
I'm happy to see it. It feels like Sony's been kind of the like, obviously there's Nintendo, but we don't consider Nintendo in the console wars here. But they're like the last holdout as far as like exclusivity goes. And I was super happy to see them reaching out and doing more PC, but like now getting their properties on Xbox, just I've never understood why they wouldn't want to get their games in more hands, right? More hands equals more dollars. It's
bizarre.
Yeah, it's really weird. So I'm super glad to hear that Helldivers is coming to Xbox.
According to this article, besides MLB The Show, technically the first Sony title appear on Xbox, that decision came from MLB themselves, not Sony. So this would technically be the first time Sony's proactively brought one of its own games to Xbox.
And honestly, that to me feels more like a changing of the tides. Because Steam is going to be on Xbox. That's going to happen. It's an inevitability. So sooner or later, PlayStation games are going to be available on a quote unquote Xbox because Microsoft is turning TVs into Xboxes and handhelds and whatever the fuck they can, they're turning it into an Xbox. So very soon, this was going to be happening anyway. So honestly, they're getting ahead of it, trying to make a little Skrilla for they're forced into it anyway. So
yeah, I think it's probably a good move.
But if it gets the game into gamers' hands sooner, heck yeah, good news.
Most def.
You know what's not good news? Identity theft, Jim.
I suffer from it thousands of times a year.
Now, in the last couple of weeks, the UK put in an ID law to protect children and minors from witnessing things on the internet that they should not be witnessing. Now, this is a video game podcast where we have fun. Why am I talking about this? Well, because of that, Rockstar Games has announced that for GTA Online and upcoming for 6, that you were going to have to upload your ID if you want to play it. Now, so far, it seems to be just in the UK, but if they roll it out there and it works there, they'll probably do it everywhere because why wouldn't they? The really terrifying thing about this is the only thing that leaks more information than Rockstar Games is a fucking colander. So, no, I don't want to give Rockstar Games my ID so I can play fucking GTA 6 or GTA Online. I don't want to do that. And the article I'm reading from here is talking about how gamers came out with a harsh opinion that parents should be the ones who are in charge of parenting their children. Yes, fucking parents should be in charge of the ones parenting your children. If you don't want them to play GTA 6, well then you should probably pay the fuck attention to what they're playing. Not me. I don't want to upload my ID, and I shouldn't have to. It's ridiculous because they ask, hey, are you 18 before you click the game? You say yes. Now, if you're, if you're worried about your kid clicking that, well, then maybe watch them when they're on the fucking computer. Yeah. So, again, we talked last week about slippery slopes and pay sites taking down games. This week, it just, the hits keep on coming in video games here, guys. Like, if it's GTA 6 now, and Rockstar is wanting to do it, then that's the biggest fucking game on the planet. This is the most looked forward to game ever. And as much as I don't want to do that and upload my ID to them, I really want to fucking play this game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It puts the whole thing in just a very shitty situation. So on X, there is a man in the know. His name is Tez2. So jokes aside, this is coming directly from him, quoting quote here. Jokes aside, Rockstar is planning to implement age assurance checks in the near future, rolling them out by region. You may need to verify your age to access GTA Online or certain features like the phone messages, Snapmatic, and this may be restricted until you verify your age. He then goes on to say that Rockstar has everything broken down by region, by servers, and can implement this and roll it out via whichever server they want to. So if they're able to do it to the UK one, which they're going to, then they have the ability to do it to all servers.
Do we have any idea how they're verifying age?
You have to upload a picture of your ID to Rockstar, and then they will allow you to access the thing like GTA Online.
A picture of you as a grizzled man flipping the camera off.
Well, it's a picture of a government or like a state ID.
Yeah, like a government issued ID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's fraught with danger. Like you were saying, it like leaks. That's way too big of a deal.
And then this comes again, right? I mean, guys, if you play video games, you use YouTube. Jesus Christ, let's be honest. Everybody uses YouTube. And come here in just around a week, you're going to have to, if the YouTube algorithm decides that you're not 18, you're going to have to upload a picture of your ID or your credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
No. So again, listen, we talked a little bit about it last week with the adult games. We'll talk about it. I don't want kids seeing that. I don't think kids, I don't think a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old should be playing GTA 6. You're right. I don't think they should. But it's not my job to make sure that they don't. And nor should I have to suffer just because a kid might play that.
Our system's not perfect, but we have ESRB ratings.
Yeah.
And then we have the companies selling the games at their brick and mortar stores that are trained not to sell it to minors. That we have EULAs you have to sign saying that you're 18 or older, right? It's like everyone's doing their part. So if a kid ends up playing a game, it's because they don't have adult supervision that is telling them they can't, right? It's like you cannot start making that the problem of legitimate buyers of your games. Because here's the thing. You implement all these systems you want, pirates are going to find a way around it. People are going to find a way to get around any system you're going to develop. And it's like a tried and true fact. If you make it hard for people to play your game, or if you make it hard for people to buy your game, then your game is going to get pirated. And if you try to implement systems, okay, so, a lot of people play GTA Online, but if I can't use your online servers because you want a picture of my ID with potential leak problems out there, I'm just not going to play online. Or I'll find a way to patch my game illegally to play online, which happens all the time with online games, right? Oh, that's ridiculous.
No, and there's another thing. Like, in a lot of different websites, like making purchases, your age has been verified by the use of a credit card, right?
Yeah.
That's a fairly common way. You have your credit card information already on your Xbox or your PlayStation or your PC. Why not just use that? Like, that is confirmation
you don't need
enough.
A picture of my card.
Right. Like,
That's silly.
Yeah. Banks can already mark cards for minors, right?
Yeah.
So that is a perfect way of filtering, right?
Yeah.
At least I feel. I think as a parent, all you have to do is make sure that your credit card can't be used without a PIN. There's usually some second layer that you can enable for purchases. There is on every console, just to make sure that children aren't using your credit card all the time. Just enable that. Like that's all it takes.
It's just a solid, amazing point because I didn't think about it. Yeah, your credit card info's already on an Xbox. It's already on a PlayStation. Why do you need a picture of it?
Right.
This is just an unnecessary step. Use the stuff you already got.
Yeah. So that you can fucking paperclip my driver's license number to the file you already fucking have on me, you assholes. No ID. None.
Yeah, it just bothers me. Like already on Steam, I have to verify my age if I'm going to buy a game that's mature rated, and my credit card is being used for that, and it matches my name and my profile.
On Steam, I have to verify my age if I want to watch a fucking trailer for a mature game. God damn it!
Well, if you just want to visit their store page,
I have to click a thing that says I verify that I'm over the age of 18. So like, it is a terrible idea to let companies and governments police our speech and expression.
Oh, agreed.
It is just a terrible idea, and like we just keep throwing away freedom for the illusion of security. It's like a lot of these security measures are already in place to keep kids from there, right? Like just do your. I'm not saying everyone's a bad parent, but there's clearly enough people not paying attention to their kids that this is a major problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, dude. So in the UK, VPN sales have gone up 1,800% in the last week.
Wonder why?
And it's underage people circumventing the UK measures that have been put in place for verifying adulthood. Yeah. That said, this portion of the podcast is brought to you by. That's a joke, but no, seriously, kids are smart. Like we were able to view adult content because we wanted to. Things have only gotten more accessible. Maybe not easier, but more accessible. And there's so much adult content to be had on the internet that I don't think there's any way that this can realistically be policed and governed. Because if a kid wants to, they're going to. The best thing you can do is parent. I mean, just being there, being present. I know we all have to work long hours. Like it's a struggle to live more than it ever used to be. But it's a decision to become a parent. And one of the things you're deciding is that you're going to be the adult representative of this person until they're the age of 18. And you are fully responsible for their actions until they are of age. I think that, you've already agreed to a EULA that you are above the age required to purchase the thing. You've already identified yourself as the purchaser of the thing using your credit card. I think there's usually age verification, like when you load up a Steam page, like we were saying earlier. So we already have enough kind of removing some of the onus. These companies are already protecting their butts. I don't think we need to add a hurdle that exposes your information like that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We have fun here, damn it.
We have fun here. Definitely. Well, hey, speaking of fun, you guys remember 10, 15 years ago, our 20s? Well, I know you don't. You don't remember a day before yesterday. But there was a time that we had a lot of fun playing games by a little company called Red Octane. Red Octane, the makers of Guitar Hero, are back.
Hopefully.
And they've announced that they're making a game to come out this year.
That's exciting.
Is it Guitar Hero?
I assume it's not, because Guitar Hero, the franchise, was purchased quite a while ago. And immediately the brand kind of went downhill, right? It became just a method for
$2 per
transaction.
track.
Exactly, right. I don't think that's going away, to be honest. It's probably going to be really similar.
Just play the free version.
100%.
Yeah.
But on top of that, the peripheral we like the most, the Gibson model of the Guitar Hero controller, is coming back. A company called CRKD is bringing back the Gibson, baby. So yeah, there's 2 models, and you get to even like customize them. So there's the
Looks
Gibson.
pretty bitchin'.
Yeah, I mean, there's this one's called the Blueberry Burst. We're showing it on the screen for our audio listeners. You get the option of changing the necks, so it has an interchangeable neck. You can use the original PlayStation 2 style buttons, the kind of squishy buttons. You can upgrade those buttons to mechanical switches instead, which are going to increase the amount of button presses that you get out of them from like hundreds of thousands to millions. So they're bound to last longer than the old Gibsons did, because we went through a number of those motherfuckers. But you also have the option of the PlayStation version. When Guitar Hero and Rock Band came out on PlayStation, they had a different controller. They had a Strat. And those buttons were fucking awful. I know some people prefer them, but for me...
Tore my fingers up.
Yeah, they tore my fingers up too, and they weren't tactile enough. They didn't have enough separation between them to be able to tell them apart. So it was more a memorization of spacing. But you do have that option too, if that's a more comfortable guitar for you. It also comes with a lower fret too. So because that's a feature they added to that controller. But yeah, it comes in the Blueberry Burst, and it also comes in Black Tribal Encore. 2 different stylings. You get to choose your neck, and it's the style that I prefer. It's the most comfortable guitar for me. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I honestly, I think back to Guitar Hero and think, like, why can't we play that? Well, it's because we don't have a rendition that plays on any of our hardware now. That's one thing. It's an old franchise, but try investing into that hardware now. You can really only buy it used.
Yeah, they're all collector's pieces or garbage.
And I have looked into buying them. The guitars are selling on eBay for over $100 a piece. Yeah. These ones are also over $100 a piece. They're between $114 and $125 or $135.
They're brand new.
But they're brand new, right? You're going to be getting some mileage out of them. And for $135, you get the mechanical switches, which are rated for millions of key presses. Now, some other cool stuff about the peripheral is that their compatibility has been widened.
So one playthrough in Through the Fire and the Flames.
3% of your lifetime.
Exactly. But yeah, it's going to work on PC handhelds. So things like the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally. It's going to work on the Switch and Switch 2. It's already working on Android, because you can buy these now. Yeah. It's already working on Android devices, mobile, tablets, smart TVs. And it's going to work with PlayStation 3 and all of the ones after it. But yeah, there is something called Key Jam mode where you have to pair it to your smartphone. That is going to be required for compatibility with Fortnite Festival, which I didn't know was a thing. It's going to be required for the Xbox Series, the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PS5. So you additionally do have to pair it with your phone. But based on reviews, it seems like the software it might have come out a little bit rough, but it's sharpened up since. So yeah, man, I'm really hopeful. It would be nice to get Rock Band back together with the drum kit and all the peripherals. Right now, I don't know if that's in the cards. This is the only
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't mean to interrupt, but
No,
it's
go
just
ahead.
an easy fix. You get something like Clone Hero, which is just the Guitar Hero we know and love with infinite tracks for free, right? It's like an open source version. And then any MIDI drum set is going to pretty much immediately plug and play with Clone Hero. The guitars are just the more difficult part,
Yeah.
right? You would need like a weird MIDI guitar, and like they made the Guitar Smith ones if you want like a hyper realistic one, but like just the old school controller is kind of a big deal because
It is.
that's a unfortunately reasonable price for something like that. That's going to last you probably at least a year or two.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that was kind of like the last big hurdle of getting all this stuff back together is finding guitars that worked.
Yeah, and you raise a good point because the peripherals are you can use them on PC even, like you have so much more access to so many more rhythm games that it I'm more excited about the peripheral than necessarily Guitar Hero coming out, you know, another Guitar Hero. Although Guitar Hero had fucking choice music for the like for what came out with the game, so I am looking forward to that. But just getting the band back together, man, sounds like a blast for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked. This led me down a rabbit hole, figuring out like what other peripherals might work, and this seems to be the best of them made so far. So I'm stoked, man. Super stoked.
All right, cool.
Yes, sir.
We have fun here. Speaking of fun, what if you brought an M1 Abrams main battle tank to a knife fight? That's kind of the premise of Kingmakers, a game we watched a few trailers for, which is now entering early access October 8th. This is the game that apparently the conceit is you are a time traveler going back to medieval battles, bringing some along of your modern day tech to help win these ancient sieges. They had their first, what do you call it? The dev diary. Just some talk about it on their Reddit. And I learned quite a bit about the stuff that I didn't know about the game that I was kind of pretty surprised to learn about. So they took big inspiration from stuff like Total War. So every individual unit is a full individual and AI driven, so a little bit more like Mountain Blade, Bannerlord.
Yeah.
But the gameplay itself actually has a whole strategy element to it. There is some building of a base of a castle of like, I don't think there's necessarily like town management. And I'm not really sure how the matches work out, but there is this strategic level, which we can see temporarily here during this most recent trailer they launched. And then they also announced that during early access, they're going to have like 6 or 7 different medieval unit types, you know, swordsmen, spearmen, cavalry, archers, as well as stuff like trebuchets, ballista, and archer towers. But yeah, you do have access to guns and motorcycles and cars and tanks and grenades and things like that. Which is going to come in handy when you actually switch between the game's current 2 modes, which you have your first-person shooter mode. There's also a full top-down RTS-style control for the strategic level, and you can switch back and forth.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
And they are currently working on considering a third-person over-the-shoulder, like you as a commander, honor guard following around your troops idea. They talk about how they have different calibers of bullets for their guns. So if you haven't found enough holy relics to like upgrade your units, you might be using like a pistol against a boss in full plate, and it's actually not going to do that much damage, right?
Right.
So it's not just a pure power fantasy game. There will be some tactics and strategy to it, which is good to hear. You can apparently, they're working on the ability to take prisoners. Something about presence of civilians on the battlefield. There may eventually be modern emplacements such as like turrets and Gatling turrets, just not at this moment. So yeah, really interesting. Kind of took a twist I wasn't expecting. I was expecting much more like super goofy, just you know, run around with your friends.
That's how it looked from the first trailer for sure.
But that might mean that they're like considering like a PvP element. I don't know. It's just, I guess we'll find out. What was it, October 8th, I believe? Yeah. It's not too far away.
No, it's crazy how fast this year's going, man.
Yeah.
That's 2 months away.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So you said early access, right?
Yeah, early access.
Excellent.
I think it was $25-$30. I'm not sure though.
I think I know what I'm doing October 8th, or at least the week of.
Yeah.
Because that's a title that I've been looking forward to. I think it's a fun, fresh concept.
Absolutely.
And it looks interesting. And the fact that there's like an overhead
price yet. So I don't know.
But the fact that it has like an overhead RTS element, I can never remember the name of the game, but it was the RTS slash first person shooter. Savage. Yeah. I always really wished people would revisit that concept, the RTS versus like if you had an RTS component to PlanetSide, right? God, that needs to happen. Well, I've got a really short, quick little announcement. This just came out earlier this week. Darksiders 4 was officially announced, so no longer rumors. And I'm stoked because it seems to be exactly what I wanted.
Did you get to play the third one?
I didn't play the third one.
Okay.
I'm taking this as an opportunity to go back and play the second and the third before this one comes out, because I haven't played the third, and I was underwhelmed by the second, but I don't think I let it cook long enough.
Yeah.
Because I know that it's got more depth in the combat. I know that they added more RPG element to the game than they did in the first one. But the first one captured me so wholly.
Yeah.
It's Dark Zelda. It was incredible.
Hoot.
Yeah. That the little bit of change for Darksiders 2 kind of held me back from enjoying it. I'm far enough removed now from the original that I think I could jump back into it and have a good time.
Yeah.
War is the character featured here, and he is my favorite of the horsemen as far as the franchise goes, because, well, he looks awesome. He carries an enormous sword, and he plays like modern Link would in a modern Zelda. So, I love that game so much. Like, it's got so many hours on it in my Steam library. Love that game. So yeah, I'm just excited. Just an announcement, just a little teaser, and I'm really excited to pick up where I left off with War.
Very nice.
Yes, sir.
In some lightish, better sigh of relief, cathartic release news, the Stop Killing Games initiative petition is now closed with way more votes than they needed.
Yeah.
The champion of the movement so far, YouTuber Ross Scott, says, quote, "It's done about as well as is humanly possible, given the current climate." A lot of stuff's going to happen from here. This is, again, like he said a million times, just the beginning.
Yep.
But they got enough. They got in front of important people's eyes. He says here, quote, "Since the signing period is over, we're entering a phase where things like counter lobbying and political connections are most important. Frankly, that is not my department. I know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Though some political insiders do, and they're advising the official organizers of the EU petition, and he's not even aware of all their plans, which is good. This was a guy who cared, who had some meat in the game and knew a little bit about it, and just has spent the last year and a half being a bastion of consumer protection, right? He says now there's a whole lot of the campaign just now involves waiting. He maximized chances best he could to push back against issues of games being destroyed on almost every front. He thinks that France, Germany, Australia, and the EU as a whole are the heavyweights in this. As long as we get a major market prohibiting game destruction, I think we'll largely win this globally. I don't see lots of new stuff on the horizon later. I think we either win or at least one of these, or if they all fail, then it's over, right? Which is a good, like, stark take that, like, if you don't win one of those major ones, it's probably done.
Yep.
And we get to continue this Dead Harambe timeline.
Yeah, I mean, like Ross Scott said, it's just the beginning, because it's just starting to get in the face of legislators, and it is an uphill battle. There are going to be video game lobbyists. The gaming industry as a whole, as a whole, is largely against this. So. And there's a lot of money in the industry, and I think this is going to expose how much money is in the industry to politicians. I think there's going to be more video game legislation that is spawned from this realization, and on top of that, they may be monetarily incentivized not to push this through. So I'm not going to hold my breath, but we're getting progress. We've got progress. So, exciting news in that front. Do you know offhand how many votes they got?
Last I counted is like 1.4
Signatures?
million. They
Okay.
only needed 1 million, so they got hundreds of thousands more than they needed, especially to cover the chance that some of those were bots and whatnot.
Right. Yeah,
or
that's
some of
what
those were
you.
cheated.
Yeah, the last time I
Yeah.
read the blog, it was they were looking for 1.4 because that guarantees that they have enough signatures that may not be bots.
Yeah.
So if they met that threshold, it seems like it's gonna get in front of politicians' faces. So
Yeah.
pretty stoked about that. Excellent.
Yeah. 1.44 million.
Cool. Met the threshold and exceeded. Excellent. Well, good news.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, we got one more thing we want to do.
Well,
We've
two more things. Put in
two more
No.
What's
combined.
jokes. We have fun here.
We do have fun here.
Jokes. Yeah. So we've been kind of looking at doing meta topics. We've kind of talked about that in the past. Like we want to have more conversation, and we definitely want to hear from you guys as well. But tonight's topic of discussion is if you could merge two video games, not necessarily genres, but two video games together, what would you choose? And we've all chosen 3 or 4, maybe an honorable mention or 2. But Josh, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Yeah, so mine actually jumped right out at me. I want a mashup of Mario and Red Dead 2.
Which Mario?
So, admittedly, the Mario I'm kind of seeing in my head is like Mario 64 Mario.
Okay, so like an open world.
Yeah, open world,
adventure
right?
Game.
Now, this is taking place almost entirely in desert world, right?
Okay.
So it
So
has
it's
that-
Mario main game.
It's Mario main game. It has that whole kind of main feel, and then where the Red Dead aspects come in are like some of the power ups. So instead of a fire flower, you got the like bullets with some fireballs on it, and you bloop bloop, right?
Okay.
Power-ups, yeah.
Power ups, like some of the various power ups are
to
just
give
like
Mario or Glock.
Yeah, dude.
and so you get like a raccoon skin cap that like
Okay.
flutters, and that's how he flies. Yoshi is like is Destroyer that you name John Bon Pony. There's a gang. There's Luigi. There's one of those little.
There's Luigi.
There's Luigi.
He's so secondary. Like he's there too.
Of course. There's one of those little penguin
got
guys that
lumbago.
make the snowballs, and so he's like wearing a scarf, and he has little snowball
Yep.
shooters.
There you go.
There is a very haggard Princess Daisy, because every camp needs a follower.
Okay.
Daisy's on it. Maybe you have a Boo that's on the wrong side of the law that's
Yeah.
hanging out in the
There
gang.
you go.
Bowser is the governor, and all of like the Goombas are like corrupt marshals,
Okay.
right? Okay,
I like it. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is like an
Yeah.
open world kind of game, but it
Yeah.
has a storyline like Red Dead, so you can kind of go do storyline
yeah, you can
missions.
go do stuff.
Okay.
You're right? Yeah,
I could see the Shy Guys being like a third faction. You
Yeah,
know, you're
You
the
just
good
have
guys.
regular ass dry bones.
Yeah.
There's just
Yeah.
dry bone turtles because you're out in
Yeah.
the desert, right?
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude, like honestly,
You have
I
horse
feel
races.
like it. Yeah, Yoshi races, bro.
Now, I don't think this exists, but it does remind me of a couple of the really newer Mario games that I know you haven't played because they're like on the consoles, but I think Mario Odyssey
yeah.
had a bunch of different planets you went to. So there was like an ice planet and a modern day planet. And they might have, I mean, they always have like a desert level, but it wasn't like a heavy cowboy themed open world kind
Yeah,
of thing.
and that's what this
Yeah.
would be. So it's like the characters are from Mario, but like a lot of the theming and like the
Yeah.
feel of it is going to give you that gritty.
And they could straight up steal
Red
their tech
Dead.
from like Mario Kart. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you ride horses or
Yeah.
like wagons and just
That's true. Mario Kart is pretty much a open world
Yeah,
game.
the
now.
newest Mario Kart
Yeah.
one is an open world Mario
Yeah.
Kart, which is
Yeah.
weird, but yeah.
Strange.
I think that's a really cool idea. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given that I have 4 and you said you had come up with 3,
Yeah.
I guess I'll go next and we'll
Go
go
for
in
it.
that order. My first, it's so funny you brought it up. You mentioned, I just wish they had like RTS and PlanetSide, right?
Yeah.
Something I've always wanted since the idea that it happened, and I still want it, is StarCraft and Helldivers.
Oh, yeah.
I still want a first or third person StarCraft game. I love StarCraft. It's great, right? But now with the advent of Helldivers, which is this semi-persistent world, right? It is not the persistent world of PlanetSide or like the Anvil game we talked about the other day, but the devs are actively changing the game depending on reactions of how the players are doing. We have, like player-based wide missions kill 2 billion of this bug by the end of next week. To have something like that in StarCraft, right, where you get to pick your faction, and then play a first-person game where you're taking over planets and fighting each other, and then you have people flying the planes or the tanks. Oh my God, right? Amazing. It would be dope. It would be the coolest thing.
This is something that we've been searching for a long time. Like we kind of found it with, we found it with Savage in some capacity. It was just an RTS and a first-person shooter, but also like Black Wake, having the captain, and then you have everybody else running the ship.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is something like, why isn't this like its own genre yet? Where like you have a commander and all of what would normally be NPC tasks are player characters.
Yeah, like replace that with that. I mean, in that Anvil game and Foxhole are kind of like that. They're not exactly what I want. But yeah, it reminds me also of like Dust 541, which was the canceled game that was literally tied to EVE Online, where you had soldiers on the ground on a planet, getting live interaction with people playing EVE, an entirely different game, right? That kind of asymmetrical play is perfect because then you attract all kinds of gamers. The old heads like us that are like excited and happy and good at being tactical or strategic, and then you've got all the young bloods doing actual on the ground stuff.
Right.
Imagine if you play that game and you got high enough level or good enough that you're literally running one of the Yamato class battle cruisers, and you've got 40 other players manning it because it takes that many people to make it work. And oh God, so good.
I can only imagine. Yeah. And I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start with my first one. I want Titanfall in DayZ.
I was looking at Titanfall. I was like, okay.
So I think it would be really cool to have kind of like a sandbox world like DayZ, where it's mostly survival. You spend a lot of time just trying to survive in alien landscape, and every now and then you get into combat. Right.
Okay.
I also think it would be really cool if there was like a resource on planet that you were finding that could bring down your Titan, and then once your Titan's destroyed, just like in the regular Titanfall gameplay, you're the pilot again, right?
Okay.
So you're like at no point are you ever out of the game.
And does this play like Titanfall or does it play like DayZ?
It plays like DayZ in the Titanfall universe, essentially.
Yeah.
So it is future tech,
Gotcha.
tech heavy. So you're not like you're going to have the same type of guns and stuff that you have in Titanfall, but it's persistent. It's like a Titanfall game that is persistent and has a very, very large map, right? Except for when you start the game, you have like maybe pistol that isn't super effective, like some sort of starting weapon.
I could see a situation where like you have a big massive ship overhead that you crash landed from and it's still operable, but like you can't get back to it and you have to wait for, the story is that you have to like wait for people to hyperspace jump to you or whatever.
Yeah.
So you have this ship that can manufacture new Titans, but like everyone aboard is dead, and you're one of the few people that like got into like an escape pod.
That's kind of
And
how
then
I'm
the
feeling.
other players are like a crew that left. So, I mean, if you have a Titanfall, if it can die, does that imply you're fighting other Titans? Because, like, what is going to...
Yeah, because I do want this to be multiplayer, like a 40-person
multiplayer.
server, right?
Yeah.
Where the landscape is big enough that you aren't constantly running into one another, but the threat is always looming, right?
Yeah.
I also would like that you might be able to partner up with other pilots to better your chances of survival. Because DayZ always has that balance of the larger group you have, the more scarce food is, the harder it is to survive, but the better you're going to be equipped.
People being turncoat.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're also better equipped to deal with like larger amounts of players, and people have your back. So finding that balance in that I think is kind of cool. I also think you would have it might be a better choice not to call down your Titan right away. Like,
yeah, it could even be that like the Titans come down and it's like a care drop package. Like everyone gets a warning that a Titan's coming down.
Yeah.
And there's just one coming down. So let's hope you manage to scrounge like an anti-Titan weapon from somewhere else on the map. Because like once a player gets it, they're in it until the rest of the people manage to stop them,
Yeah.
right? And then you have another like in-game however long before the next Titan comes down, or it drops like 2,
Yeah.
right? You know, or something like that.
So yeah, it's essentially a persistent
cool.
Titanfall game with survival elements.
Yeah.
That I think I'm trying to get across, and that
yeah.
appeals to me enormously.
What you got?
My second game is going to be a Doom or a Duke Nukem style game
Okay.
in Pokemon. Now follow me here, guys. So Pokemon were bred for war, and that's why it's children that are left to go out and do all of the Pokemoning. There's no adults, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
either it's a prequel and you have, you know, the war of Pokemon and you're like the last fucking adult human soldier fighting off hordes of Pokemon that are coming at you,
You're
throwing.
fighting Pokemon.
Yes,
Okay.
you're Doom guy.
Okay, so we're playing like a Doom game.
Yeah, you're playing a Doom
there's
game, and the Pokemon are terrifying.
Okay.
So it could be either maybe in the future, maybe you're Ash 30 years down the line, and shit's gotten
Maybe
real.
you're Ash.
You know, I don't know.
Everybody else
you
was.
might be Ash. You might be Ash.
You might be Ash, right? So like either a very flung in the future or before like the Pokemon chilled out because there was like some sort of weird demon signal that made all of them ravenous and scary instead of just like, yeah, I'll fight that other thing for you. So you'd be Doom guy and you're fighting off the scary ass Pokemon. Like, can you like how cool of a boss battle would like a Moltres be?
Yeah,
you
some
know?
of those abilities the Pokemon have. Good luck.
Good,
Yeah, some
good
of them
fucking
are
luck. Yeah,
universe ending.
It seems like a Doom guy battle, like against some of them. Seems like a fair fight, square
Yeah.
off. You know,
Yeah, I mean, some of the legendary Pokemon, they're gods. Like
Yeah.
Arceus,
Yeah.
Arceus, he's a god of time. So it could literally be that like the god Pokemon like fought each other and brought hell to the surface or something.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and
Here's
it's
Doom
like-
guy.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I honestly, I could see it working as a mashup.
Yeah. I thought you were meaning like it's a game that plays like Pokemon, but it's in a horrific, hell-filled, post-apocalyptic future, right? Where you're like catching like undead Pokemon and stuff.
Lavender Town's really
That would
gonna fuck
also,
you up.
Yeah.
that would also work.
Yeah.
Like Dante's
way.
Inferno, got to catch them all. You know, like
All right. My next game. What was my next game? I'm going to bring up super quick because I'm going to bring up anytime I can. Give me an F-Zero game for adults.
Yeah.
Right? Give me Gran Turismo F-Zero. I want it.
Oh,
Total War in Civilization. What is the holy grail of these old man grognard 4X games? You know, every 4X game tries to do as much as it can, but it has to make concessions, right? Civ is the board game version of 4X games. It is simple comparatively, and it tries to cover a huge span of human history, but your game mechanics don't really change much. Newer games have tried to get around that and subvert it and twist it, things like Humankind. And then you have like the sci-fi ones. And then you have stuff like Total War, where it's like you have a really kind of thin economy layer, but the meat of the game is in the combat. And then the closest you get is stuff like Age of Wonders, where it is a full Civ game, and then you do have a full turn-based, grid-based tactical combat when your units clash. You go in and actually, you know, you have like hero units, and they have equipment and abilities and spells. But what I want is a Civ-like full colony management, empire management game, but the battles play like Total War, right? You know, a turn-based battle, like Age of Wonders games are fantastic.
Yeah.
But I want the ability to have that real-time tactical plus strategic element to
totally.
it, right? I mean, you imagine like having, you know, space age France and near space age Indonesia fighting in front of Mount Rushmore, right? Like it'd be weird and cool.
It would make for cool set pieces.
Yeah.
It would make for cool units.
Plus, that you could have things like, what do you do when you have colonial level like infantry, and then your person you're fighting develops like machine guns, right? And then you better hope that your quantity of troops can outnumber theirs, and then you have to do this like really asymmetrical battle. I don't know. I thought that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool,
Kind of
man.
the holy grail.
Holy grail of the top down.
The 4X games.
Yeah.
Okay, next game in my brain.
So I I have a particular spot in my heart for World of Warcraft. It's a love-hate relationship, mostly love, but a lot of hate. I really loved the Devil May Cry series. I don't know if Devil May Cry is exactly the representative for what I want here, but to have an actual hero game that is Warcraft themed, I think would be really cool, because a lot of the power fantasy in World of Warcraft is lost in its combat. It's like, because the combat is, relatively simple. Not to say that just in the way it looks and performs, right? It doesn't, you don't have combos.
It's heavily disassociated from what the characters can do.
That's what I'm going for, right? Yeah. So to have to be able to play out the hero fantasy of a World of Warcraft character that is ultra powerful. In modern WoW, everybody refers to you as hero and champion because you've saved the world like every expansion multiple times, right? You are like the heroic icon in the world, and to be able to get that in like a more like Devil May Cry, or at least like a hero
Force Unleashed, or any of the superhero games,
to be able to have that power fantasy and to give them the gravitas that they're supposed to have, I think would be really cool. And I've always liked those kinds of games. Like I really do like something like Devil May Cry or a Force Unleashed, third person action games that involved ranged and melee combat, spells, magic, guns, all of it. So I really do like that type of game. So I think seeing my favorite characters, or at least the theme of Warcraft in that model, would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, third game, Josh?
Yes. My third game would be Starfield, and a good game. No. We have fun here. I'm actually thinking Dave the Diver and BioShock.
When you said this earlier, I was it took me a second, but like
I made Nick's face go slack when I said it. But I'm kind of imagining it looks like Dave the Diver, right? Like that style. And then remember that 2D side-scrolling game with like the bleeding angel face, and you fought the demons, and
A Binding of Isaac?
No shit. You played it.
You played it.
Blasphemy. Blasphemous.
Yeah. So, and then like Dave's going fishing, and then he winds up in Rapture City, and then it starts playing a bit like Blasphemous with Dave the Diver. And it's just like, the horrors of Rapture City are unleashed upon poor Dave, and he's just trying to fish. And every time, he finds a new cool fish, he gets a fucking psychic power.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You feed them to your customers.
So, I was going to say, this was, again, the least thought out of it. But, I just kind of I really liked the mashing of those styles. I thought, because, fucking BioShock gave me the creeps. So now, because it is the water aspect of it, right? That really gives me the creep. Because BioShock 3 isn't creepy.
Yeah.
Doesn't, same premise, but no water, so I'm not creeped out. I really think that takes Dave the Diver down a dark lagoon, and that's fun.
And then he can claim his restaurant as a circus of value.
Yeah.
Because I would.
Absolutely.
For my last one, I do want to have a special mention to a game that technically kind of already exists in multiple ways, Halo, but sold at. There was a lot of fan-made projects that made 2D side-scrolling Halo games, but they're almost all either like dead in the water, or they were Flash games, so they're like single-player. Like if you had a full multiplayer potential option of Halo, but it was like a 16 or 32-bit side-scroller, right?
Like Halo Metal Slug?
Yeah. That would be, imagine Blood Gulch, like capturing a flag and whatnot, but you do it as a side scroll. That just seems like a hoot.
And to the soundtrack, Blood on the Soil, goddamn.
That'd be amazing, right? So that game kind of already exists. So my last game was Hard Spaceship Breaker, which was one of my most favorite games I've ever played. Which, if you're not familiar, you play a blue-collar shipbreaker in space. So you're tearing apart spaceships and having to worry about all the hazards that come with ripping apart a decommissioned ship, trying to tear out the engines and the nuclear power plant and all the electricity stuff and whatnot on a time limit because you're getting paid by the hour, but with something along the lines of Lethal Company Peak, because the game needs multiplayer.
Yeah.
We probably will never get another hard space, but if it comes out, it has to have multiplayer. But having like 3 or 4 player potential hard space where you make a crew and like maybe you bid on decommissioned ships against other teams, you know, you're saying, oh, well, we'll get it done in 8 minutes. Or we'll get it done in 7 minutes, right? And then, you know, you develop a rep. But then the game's already got the potential for that hilarious high difficulty curve, and that the game itself in single player is a high difficulty curve. It's very easy to die and have all these things happen or to mess up. And having the chaos of multiple people in a game like that, it just perfect.
I think I would hate everybody in my friend group after playing that together.
If it's one of those situations where it's going to suck and be hilarious, but if you find somebody who cares to get good and you start working together as a team, especially with like that, all that tether
Super
mechanics,
satisfying.
right? You could be tossing stuff and not paying attention to it while another teammate's grabbing it and tethering it. And oh god, it'd be so good.
That would be a good time.
Yeah.
Well, my last one, I don't have any honorable mentions. I want to see Jet Force Gemini and Tomb Raider. We never got a second Jet Force Gemini game because Rare basically stopped happening shortly after Jet Force Gemini and Donkey Kong 64. In the way I envision it, it's the gameplay of modern Tomb Raider, not going back to like early PlayStation Tomb Raider, so modern one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing it
with
now.
all the survival elements. It's sneaking, like it's not a shooter, right?
Yeah.
It's high action, high octane, pretty much all the time, but also has a pretty rich, deep story. I would like to see that out of Jet Force Gemini because I think there's a lot that you could get out of the characters from Jet Force, and I think that gameplay would cater really well to the characters and the enemies from Jet Force Gemini because. You know, I think it would be really easy to say, like, just make a first-person shooter or just make a new third-person shooter. But with today's modern graphics, it just, you can't pull it off. It was definitely a product of its time.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, I think it works better. Because it wouldn't be like hordes of ants and beetles and stuff like that. It would be like... You know, you have your sniper ant that you have to watch out for. They stay in the trees and they're well camouflaged.
Kinda not with Far Cry-esque.
Very Far Cry, very Far Cry.
Where it's like you're a guerrilla warfare, you know, one of the 2 main characters against the ant Myrmidon soldiers and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say
that'd be fun.
I would say more. I think you kind of nailed it. It would have it would be more narrative and story heavy than
like
Far Cry.
The newer Tomb Raiders.
But Far Cry is a pretty good example because you do essentially have multiple bosses just like you had in the original Jet Force Gemini, which I would like to kind of carry over. So I think an adventure game like that would cater pretty well to the Jet Force Gemini universe, and I love those characters. I love those guns and the fun times.
One last thing, we are loving meta topics. We're trying to think of them. I think this is a ripe one. We'll come up with more, and we'll probably do this again.
Yeah.
This particular chicken plot pie.
The plot pie.
The plot pie.
Plot pie.
Mix them together.
Your name is,
TBD.
TBD.
But yeah, if you have any ideas for other things you want to hear us ramble about, let us know. But now we have another week to think about a whole new pair of games.
Yeah.